Hello, my social media family, and Happy New Year to those of you I have not yet connected with. I just came off of a great, an amazing, inspiring weekend where I led the retreat portion, the online retreat portion of the Relax, Envision, and Manifest 2022 with some incredible, courageous ladies. And I'm about halfway through leading my first full focus planner system training, and that is going really well. I'm super excited to add that to my portfolio. So it's been a week of leading, and Toronto got hit by snowmageddon. But in downtown, stuff is melting. It's 3 degrees outside today. So the snow is melting and it's a little bit messy. For those of you who have not had the occasion to come across me before, my name is Damian Reed. I'm a performance and freedom lifestyle mentor, coach. I'm an international best-selling author, and I'm a keynote speaker. And this series is all about habits of the week, which come from my Amazon international best-selling book, Cure Entrepreneurialitis, 52 Habits to Earn the Freedom You Deserve. And if you're interested in looking that up, you can find that on Amazon or on Kindle. And today's habit of the week is habit number 15. And it's how to implement powerful ways to get the best results for your team. And some of these are going to be a little bit unconventional, and a few of them are probably not what you think I'm going to be telling you about. So stay tuned for some 5 tips on how to do that. Look, if you're interested in creating what we call the freedom lifestyle, you are going to need a team. And when we talk about the freedom lifestyle, what we're talking about is that it's that lifestyle that you see as your ideal life out in the future. And for people, there's usually one of 4 types of freedom that they're looking for. Either they're looking for financial freedom, location freedom, responsibility freedom, or time freedom, or a combination of those. But for you, it may not be any of those 4. You may have your own idea about what that looks like, and that's what your freedom lifestyle looks like. To get your team to produce the best results, it doesn't work to relate to them as organizational roles and not human beings. So what I mean by that is it doesn't work for you to relate to a person as an operations manager versus relating to that person by their name. If that person's name happens to be Nancy, it works for you to associate with Nancy. And Nancy's married, and she's got a husband, and she's got 2 kids who are in school, and they deal with things, and there's maybe some turmoil going on in the household and so forth. That's part of what works for you to get the best out of your people, is to understand what their personal motivations are. One of the best examples I ever came across was a company out in Vancouver. And that company puts their staff, their team's dreams up on the wall. They do their feng shui profiles, and they put the feng shui profiles up on the wall. They do their disc profiles, and they put their disc profiles up on the wall. And they also put the individual goals that the person has for their life and for the year. And the company is all about supporting that individual and achieving what they want to achieve above what the company needs to achieve. And that puts the people first, and it's a phenomenal approach. That company also has an amazing onboarding program so that when someone comes into the organization, they feel like they're part of the team and they get themselves up inside of that culture. So very, 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 very important examples of how that works. So I'm going to give you, as I said, 5 tips on how to create getting the best results for your team. Habit number 1, create water cooler time, especially for virtual teams. What I mean by this is a lot of virtual teams get onto calls and they immediately jump into task-oriented or project-oriented conversations. You may want to start to create situations where the team is there without the manager, where they can chat about what's going on in their life, the way that they would if they were in an office environment, getting to know each other and supporting each other. And in fact, you may want to say, look, you guys get on a call at 9 o'clock and I'll join you at 9:10 and leave them to do what they want to do in those first 10 minutes, which will typically be just chatting about what's going on in themselves. That's super, super important. Number two is create the structures for knowing what their goals, dreams, and what matters to them. So the example I gave you about that company out west who puts that stuff up on the wall is a great example. If you don't take the actions to know what your team's individual goals are, what their dreams are, what really matters to them, it's not going to happen accidentally. So you need to put that structure in place to get to that information. And then when you have that information, what are you going to do with it? You want to put that into action in the decisions that you make in how you relate and operate with your teams. So that's number two. Number three is use tools like the Colby assessment. I include Colby assessments with all my private clients, and the Colby assessment is a little different from the IQ and EQ tests that you're normally used to. IQ deals with intelligence and the information that we learn. EQ deals with how we relate emotionally in situations. And pretty much all of the testing or assessment tools you're familiar with, DISC, colors, etc., Myers-Briggs, and so forth, fall into either the IQ or EQ side. Colby falls into the conative side, which is how we do our things in the world. And I find that to be a much more reliable way of working with particular clients to set them up so that they've got what they need when they're creating their freedom lifestyle. When our clients have teams, I often have us do team Colby's, individuals, and comparisons so that we know how the team interacts with each other and how we can support people to get the best out of one another. So that's number three, use tools. Number four is to include personal check-ins in your daily communications. So don't have your emails all be about work, 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 work. Once a day, at least, with each of your team members, find out what's going on with the things in their life. Find out, what happened with their son's soccer game, or if you knew they were going to a doctor's appointment, just check in, say, hey, did everything go well with the doctor, etc. So you want to include personal check-ins on a daily basis to keep things about the people, not just about work. And finally, the last tip I'll give you is to celebrate. Celebrate milestones, celebrate birthdays, celebrate anniversaries, celebrate major life events. Have that become a part of the culture that you're building inside of your organization. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Don't just sit on these 5 actions that I gave you to create better teams. Go and take an action now, today, before your day's over, and make a difference in having your team become more cohesive, more powerful, and getting better results out of them. If you're interested in finding out more about working with either myself or my team, please reach out to us through any of our social media channels or send us an email. We will be back with Habit of the Week next week. I look forward to having you tune in then. I don't take for granted that you take the time to watch my videos. Thank you so much for doing that, and have an amazing rest of the week. Bye for now.